Okay, so what if I told you that you could completely change the way you think? I mean, really change it. Go beyond just cramming facts in your head and actually start understanding the world around you. Well, today, we're going to dive into the mind of the Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman to unpack his method for thinking like a true genius.
Feynman had this idea that most of us are kind of trapped in an illusion. See, we think we're thinking, but what we're really doing is just accepting what we're told. He figured this out really early on, and it basically shaped his entire life's work.
So what even is this thinking illusion? Well, at its heart, it's about the massive difference between knowing the name of something and actually knowing something. And this was a lesson Feynman didn't learn in some fancy university classroom. Nope, he learned it from his dad.
Just picture this. A young Richard Feynman is out for a walk with his father. His dad points to a bird and lays out this simple but honestly profound idea. He says, look, I could tell you that bird's name in Italian, in Portuguese, in Chinese, and a dozen other languages.
But when all is said and done, you still wouldn't know a single thing about the bird itself. You'd only know what different groups of people call it. But knowing what the bird does, the fact that it pecks lice from its feathers, that those lice eat protein, that it's always trying to stay clean, that is real understanding. And I think we all get stuck on the left side of this chart way too often, just collecting labels instead of actual insights.
And this wasn't just some cute childhood lesson. He started seeing this illusion everywhere he went. He would teach these top-tier students in Brazil who could recite entire textbooks, word for word, but they couldn't answer a basic question about why something worked the way it did. They knew the formulas, but they had no idea what they actually meant.
So, how do we break out of this trap? Well, Feynman didn't just point out the problem, he developed a set of really powerful habits to fix it. And the very first habit is all about making abstract ideas real. It's about visualization.
This was his absolute guiding principle. If you can't create a mental picture of a concept, you just don't get it yet. Most of us, we learn the abstract terms and formulas first, and we never really connect them to anything in the real world. Feynman, he did the exact opposite.
So here's how he put it into practice. When he learned about atoms, he didn't just memorize definitions. No, he pictured them as these tiny little particles bouncing and colliding all over the place. When he was studying electromagnetic fields, he would literally try to imagine what it would feel like to be an electron in that field. He'd stare at a super complex equation and just keep asking himself one simple question: what is this actually describing in the real world? That translation from the abstract to the tangible was the bedrock of his understanding.
And this flows right into his second habit, which sounds so simple but is just incredibly powerful. It's about having the relentless curiosity of a little kid and always asking one simple question: why? You can see this whole method perfectly in a story about how he helped a student who was just totally lost on quantum mechanics. Instead of launching into some complex definition, Feynman went all the way back to zero. He asked him, how do you see things? And they worked it out step by step. Light bounces off an object, it goes into your eye. Simple enough. But then came that powerful little why that just unlocked everything. What if the very act of seeing something, the light bouncing off it, what if that actually moves it? By breaking it all down to its most basic parts, the student finally got it. It clipped.
This was his rule, If you can't take a concept, break it down, and then explain it back in your own simple language. Using your own analogies, you don't really get it. And that's totally okay. It just means the real thinking has just started.
Asking why over and over again will eventually lead you right to the edge of what you know. And that brings us to the third habit, which is really a powerful mindset shift. It's about turning ignorance from a weakness into your greatest strength by just embracing the three simple words, I don't know.
This feels so backward, right? We're all taught that you're supposed to have the answers, to sound smart. But Feynman realized that pretending you know something is the absolute fastest way to stop learning, period. Admitting you don't know is the only way to open the door to true understanding.
Just look at this contrast here. You've got the pretender on one side, who hides behind fancy jargon and runs away from simple questions, and then you have the true thinker, like Feynman, who isn't afraid to ask the dumb question in a room full of experts. Why? Because their goal isn't to look smart, it's to actually understand.
He even created a personal test for himself, one that we can all use. It's pretty simple. If you think you understand a topic, try to explain it to a total beginner, someone with no background in it. If you find yourself using jargon or if they're getting confused, that's a huge sign that you don't really get it yourself. It means you got to go back and think about it some more.
All right, so we've got these 3 habits: visualize, ask why, and admit you don't know. But where did Feynman's biggest, most world-changing breakthroughs come from? It wasn't from stress or pressure or forcing it. It was from something else entirely: the genius of play.
So after the incredible pressure of working on the atomic bomb, Feynman was just completely burned out. He made a decision to stop trying to do important work and to just have fun with physics again. And one day, that decision led to a simple little observation in the cafeteria. A student tossed a plate up in the air. Feynman noticed that as the plate wobbled, the little Cornell medallion printed in the center was spinning at a different, faster rate. Now, this is a simple, kind of trivial observation that most of us would see and just immediately forget. But he went back to his office, and just for the fun of it, he started working out the math for the motion of that wobbling plate. There was no goal, no deadline, no assignment. He was just following his curiosity wherever it led. He was playing.
And this right here is the power of play. That simple, playful curiosity about a wobbling plate led him down a rabbit hole that eventually connected to the spin of electrons in the super complex world of quantum electrodynamics, work that would ultimately help him win the Nobel Prize.
And that's the real secret here. Feynman always insisted he wasn't some kind of special genius. What he was relentlessly curious and incredibly persistent. He just refused to accept things at face value. He never stopped asking questions, visualizing ideas, and playing with them until he understood them from the ground up.
So the real takeaway isn't that you have to be a genius. It's that you have to give yourself permission to be curious, to be a beginner again, and to just play. The question isn't whether or not you're smart enough. The real question is, what are you curious enough about to truly, deeply understand?